My beloved, my child of light, the one about whom heaven whispers as the stars flicker at night. Pay close attention, because this isn't your normal case. There are only 2 minutes left. The hourglass in paradise has recently turned. Archangel Michael is calling your name as he holds his sword of truth. God has summoned you. This should not be neglected. Avoid the error of not pursuing it. They committed a crime in your name because they want your blessing above all else, as a result of a false story made about you, my kid. They are purposefully spreading lies in order to hurt you. However, make sure you remain alert. Ignoring them will lead to their success. If you don't pay attention, you'll be held responsible for an offense you didn't commit. Can you envision the gravity of the situation? God is entreating Archangel Michael. This message is not an accident. It's divine interception. My lover, they attempted to disguise your destiny by making false allegations, which is very bright and sacred. They felt they could trap you in shackles. However, you have already been set free by the divine realm. I must inform you of this before revealing their identity. Your spirit sensed something was wrong right away. The sudden weight, the whisper in your sleep, and the tension in your chest make you feel unwell. God was warning you in advance. It was never meant that you bear the repercussions of their wrongdoing. However, He chose this moment and message to expose the previously concealed information. They never intended for you to wear the cloak of dishonor they made. Please remain calm, my darling. Take a deep breath, for the events that follow will have a tremendous impact on your life. Archangel Michael declares, I will scream the truth so loudly that the demons who are planning this will fall to their knees. I'd like to question about a very important topic. Stick to me. This is where the ties of falsehood are removed. Therefore, avoid skipping any line. Before I proceed, please confirm that you understand my message. This communication was delivered to you for a specific purpose. Do not abandon it. Please do not disrupt the running of paradise. Yes, my dear. If you enjoy this voice, please subscribe right away. Because the messages presented here go beyond simple language. It acts as a shield, warning, and marvel as it moves. Avoid wandering without the protection of heaven. If you keep communicating, the next message could be the one that changes your life forever. Please pay care. They were in close proximity to the person who accused you. They smiled at you. It appeared that they were concerned. However, jealousy overtook them inwardly. They were waiting for you to fail. Michael, the Archangel, assures us that there is no need for alarm. They will not win with their fabrications. Their identity will be revealed, and justice will not only clear you but also propel you to new heights. God promises that if you stay with me, I will turn their trap into their downfall. However, if you ignore the warning, you may find yourself directly in the trench that they have dug. Can you see the relevance of this? Heaven demands that you remain alert. Please refrain from scrolling. Do not deactivate this device. The doors will close in 2 minutes. They will close, leaving you unable to recognize them, protect yourself, or stop the erroneous penalty. Archangel Michael stands poised with his sword extended, waiting for your response. Are you going to omit the facts or tell the truth? Heaven grew nearer as your eyes met these words, my cherished child. Although you may not be aware of it at this moment, the veil that separates the spiritual and terrestrial worlds is thinner than it has ever been in your lifetime. God is placing a quivering hand over you. Archangel Michael's sword, gleaming with divine fire, has already been raised. Nonetheless, shadows are coming on you, shadows who were arrogant enough to create a fictitious story about you. This is not comparable to a minor injury or rumor. No, my child. Your name was linked to a falsified offense. Their goal is brutal. They want to entangle you, deprive you of your dignity, and take you to a place where you have no right to exist. Confinement. Their envy has caused that murmur. You are entitled to imprisonment, chains, and other penalties for crimes you did not commit. Nonetheless, heaven will not allow this to happen if you attentively read this message. Avoid the assumption that this is merely a coincidence. The heavens aligned for this conflict exactly when you ceased. Archangel Michael, who had been waiting like a lion in chains, now steps forward and proclaims, "Beloved, only 2 minutes remain." If you avert your attention, the untruth will persist. The curse will be broken if you cuss or refuse to skip. They portray themselves as partners. They pretend to be affectionate. However, they were surreptitiously making blades from you. Heaven is displaying them tonight. Their true identity will be exposed in the near future. A partial perception of the truth is unattainable, so your religion must first lay its basis in this area. It is critical that you embrace and fully understand it. Are you currently having a tremble in your chest? Are you having a continuous sense of unease? Your spirit perceives the risk that was intended to damage you. You had a sneaking suspicion that someone was plotting something. Please keep in mind that each seed you plant in this quest will grow into a torch that shines light into another's darkness. I'm currently addressing you in this method. Each gift you offer is like a stream of living water that flows into the life of someone who needs healing. The verse, "Give, and it will be given to you," does not only apply to Jesus. It is an ongoing commitment that affects your future. I'd want to extend an invitation to you at this time through a simple act of trust. Approach this situation with a feeling of purpose, honesty, and hope. The amount you contribute today is not a donation. Your heavens are opened by the act of spiritual obedience. Relinquish your seed and witness what rewards God delivers into your life. The air was already starting to alter, and you could sense a weight, strange stares, and tension that you couldn't describe. These incidents were not a coincidence. They were early warning signs from the heavens. However, this message is more than just a murmur. A thunderclap has just sounded from above. God says, "My child, I implore you not to disregard this, for you will be the one to bear the consequence." And now, while the furnaces of heaven rage around you, I implore you to take serious action. I want you to be firmly convinced of this reality and to remain so. Please share a single word that will make the throne of heaven quiver in the comments area below. Amen. This is hardly a casual reaction. It is a declaration that you are present, awake, and the rightful owner of all words uttered about your existence. As you write it, notice how the chains of false charges are being severed. Your amen isn't just a comment. Your signature appears on the contract for deliverance in heaven. Archangel Michael says, "Do not believe that this is an exaggeration." As I stood at the gates of paradise, I witnessed their plan unfold. Their technique, however, will be proven obsolete if you continue, keep vigilant, and remain determined. Instead of you becoming embroiled in a fake court system, they will be exposed for their covert deeds. You would be similar to someone who approaches a snare while blindfolded and is unaware of the repercussions. Consider the following scenario. The blindfold has been removed and your pupils are now visible. The identity of the liar has been revealed to you, You are not being opposed by the court of heaven. It's in your favor. This is currently at jeopardy, my darling. However, first, I must inquire about an important topic. Don't let this be a one-time meeting if these words are already piercing to the heart of your being and you can feel the breath of heaven moving through them. Stay in touch. Sign up now, as every message you get on this platform is more than just text. It is a lifeline sent from above to keep you from becoming entangled in the unpleasant repercussions that others intend to inflict on you. The upcoming warning, shield, or breakthrough should not be disregarded. Do not allow yourself to sway, my love. Continue to be in tune with these divine teachings. And now there is one issue that is weighing heavily on my thoughts from the perspective of paradise. Clicking the subscribe icon means more than just following a channel. You are aligning yourself with God's prophetic flow. You are positioned beneath an endlessly open window in paradise. This channel communicates divine warnings, advancements, and revelations. When you subscribe, imagine laying the groundwork for your future by the river of God's Word. The adversary wants for you to be alone, unguided, and roaming aimlessly. Nonetheless, by subscribing, you confirm that you will not march alone. As previously stated, you will remain beneath the spout, where the grandeur exists. Clicking subscribe right away will ensure that your prophetic journey coincides with the divine purpose for your life. I'll now proceed. The person who wrongly accused you is also quivering, despite their refusal to admit it. They were confident that no one would discover their fraud. They believed that the documents would be signed and the rumors would be proven. They assumed the truth would never be revealed. They had no idea that God writes in fire, whereas people write in ink. He understood each moan. He kept a record of all the fabrications. He chronicled everything they did to damage you. He has now announced that their disguises would be removed. Archangel Michael advises, "Do not be concerned, my dear. Their names are etched before me, and if you stay to the end, you will see what they thought would never be disclosed. Maintain your awareness. Pay close attention to my activities." As you read this, the fabric of their scheme is unraveling. You will recognize the chains designed for you as the traps of jealousy and hostility that they are. Rather than being dragged through the mire, your name will shine brighter than before. This message is not restricted to that. It's a relief. The act of remaining here and actually opening this up is a sign of obedience that seeks heavenly guidance. Esteemed persons, this is just the beginning. Heaven, my beloved child, continues to communicate with you. When you opened this, something happened in the spiritual realm. Things that had been hidden for months or perhaps years began to emerge. In other words, Archangel Michael has already passed over into the unseen to protect you from the retribution written in untruth, even if you can't see it yet. God no longer roars. This curse will not be passed down to my offspring. My child will not enter chains that are not their own. This is why your ribs feel heavy. What is the cause of your quick heartbeat? There is no lightness in the struggle. The person who made the statement believed they were intelligent. I assumed no one would discover the information. They were confident that the remarks they uttered would stick to your name like mud. However, that is not true. Heaven does not allow them to end there. Truth is like a flame, and it is currently burning brighter than the darkness. Because of their proximity, you may be tempted to distrust the accuser. They approached your table. They welcomed your coming with a smile. They pretended to cheer you on as you ascended, but they signed a poisoned piece of paper behind your back. Archangel Michael declares, "I witnessed everything. I scrupulously noted every statement. I will not let you suffer the fate they have in store for you. Your name has been wrongly implicated, and this is more than just a story. It was intended to take away your freedom, remove your shield, and depict you as guilty despite the fact that your hands are clean. The equilibrium is unstable. Your commitment to remain is your anchor. Please keep the information I supplied. A single choice, decision, or act of obedience can set the tone for everything else in life. This is one of those moments. You were not brought here by chance. Because they knew you needed this knowledge, they delivered it to you in this manner. Your angels have been muttering, tugging, and pulling. You have only a few minutes till the spiritual portal closes. If you do not fully open this, the warning will disappear. This is why you feel such a great feeling of urgency. Please close heed, as God's activities go beyond simple caution. He also conserves. He resolves issues. More is generated by him. He will utilize the very thing that was supposed to bring you down to help you succeed. God will declare in the light what they spoke in the dark. They attempted to hide you behind a ruse. Nonetheless, it will eventually serve as the tool that supports your rise. We've reached a point where heaven is expecting your response. It is not the right time to be cautious. Currently, all parties are in accord. What should you leave in the comments? I am committed to the truth and endeavor to make it clear. When writing this statement, be sure you aren't just speaking to the screen. This is the message you are sending to the accuser, the liar, and all of those who collaborated against you. You've set a boundary and indicated that you won't go any further. Take note of it right away and see what happens next. Archangel Michael says, "Do not be concerned, dearly cherished." The truth is not subject to compromise. The truth is a weapon. In addition, I'll defend it tonight. But before I go any farther, please listen to me. The words you are currently hearing are not intended for today only. Another plot is set for tomorrow. Next week, an additional snare will be installed. Next month, another fiction. This is why you are unable to walk alone. Avoid becoming exposed. Beloved, subscribe. Please subscribe, as each letter sent here is not a coincidence. It's a rescue. It's a direction. This is a map. When the road is foggy, skippers collide with barricades. Those that retain links enter through the entrances. Avoid cutting oneself off from the flow of the divine. We'll now return to the person who accused you. According to God, their name will not be hidden for an extended period. Their plan is already starting to show faults. Individuals are starting to notice flaws in their narrative. Even those who took part in the whisper are now questioning its veracity, as truth has a meaning that falsehoods cannot sustain indefinitely. In the near future, the person who wanted to imprison you will be exposed for who they really are. You will not have to engage in physical warfare with your limbs. Heaven will advocate for you. In the case of exposure, you will emerge with your dignity intact. Your identification is now more prominent than it was before. This is the enemy's most serious concern, my child. That you will not tumble. Instead of viewing you in shackles, they will watch you ascend. This false charge was motivated by their envy, which will now backfire and spark your blessing. This is the basis for the extraordinary haste. God does not want you to be taken by surprise. The Archangel Michael does not want you to be blindfolded and wander into peril. They are wailing, keep cautious and attentive, do not skip. Beloved, this is only a portion of the information that must be provided. The scroll is long, the material is profound, and there are many cautionary tales. However, if you stick with me, line by line, paragraph by paragraph, you will not only learn their identities, but you will also understand why heaven chose you, why the enemy has such a deep fear of you, and why your destiny is impervious to theft, regardless of how many falsehoods are spread about you. Are you aware, my love, of the significance of your name in God's eyes? When you were born, God took your name to the throne of heaven and wrote it in his ledger. This is why the adversary has held enmity toward you over time. This is why people you trusted periodically went distant. That's why it seemed like a shadow trailed you when you were fortunate. I will not allow the chaining of your name. And Archangel Michael thunders, I will split the sky if necessary. However, this invented offense will not be the cause of your death. Your situation is tenuous even now, my dearest. The documentation has been murmured, the story has been written, and the narrative is almost finished, but you may not be able to see it. However, it was revealed by the sky before the trap's conclusion. This is the reason your spirit gets awakened. This is the cause of your sleepless nights, anxious thinking, and tight chest. You spotted it. You were aware that something was wrong. The validation has been received. Consider this. If you skip or walk away, you are rejecting the key that will lead to your liberty. God has delivered this message to you because he is aware of the power of revelation. Recognizing an untruth undermines its influence. By paying attention to heaven's warning, you can avoid the devil's trap. This is your chance to protect yourself before their lie becomes your undoing. If you ignore the darkness, they will exult. They will say we tricked them and caused them to lose their sight. Beloved, do not allow that to happen. Archangel Michael commands you to remain. Please refrain from going. I've been looking forward to the opportunity to tell you the truth. The accuser's name is nearly audible at this point. It is in close proximity. The lips that smiled at you also spoke against you. Your downfall was being signed by the same hands that pretended to help. However, those palms will be exposed. Their excitement will soon fade. Their ruse will eventually collapse. And when it happens, your reputation will soar even higher. This is the concealed information. God continuously turns assaults into testimony. The hole into which Joseph's brothers threw him served as his path to the kingdom. The cross used to secure Jesus to the cross also served as the entrance to the resurrection. The identical false offense that was written against you will serve as the basis for your blessing. However, my dear, pay close attention. Those who remain attentive reap blessings. Avoid falling asleep at this hour. Please don't skip the line, heaven is breathing. Each syllable on this page creates a shield around you. Each passage is a blade being honed. The longer you stay, the stronger your defense becomes. Listen to me. This message is not meant for immediate consumption. Additional cautions, revelations, and facts will be delivered. This is why you are unable to walk alone. Beloved, subscribe. This dream will protect you. Do not stray in a world where the opponent schemes constantly and lies are spun like webs. The following communication will be required to direct your actions, as tomorrow may bring another scheme. As a result, it is critical to be in tune with the words of heaven. Now, my dearest, let us go even further. The accuser is not just an adversary. They are someone with whom they were previously close. You were saddened by their betrayal, since you never anticipated their words could express such duplicity. Heaven, on the other hand, claims to have anticipated the catastrophe. I heard them grumble before they spoke. They will be unable to finish the task they have started. This is why you are currently viewing it, while the window is shutting. The deception is spreading, and it's too late. Nonetheless, heaven has signaled that it will not continue past this stage. My beloved, you must be aware of a dangerous situation. The battle isn't against you because of your frailty. It is due to your choice. The enemy would not use his weapons against you if you were ordinary, your existence unimportant, and your spirit lacked illumination. Do not be concerned. You have been identified, selected, and a crown awaits you. The silence of darkness will not last. You are being attacked because you possess a valuable asset. The false accusation leveled against you was never completely accurate. It was tied to what you were carrying. The goal was to silence your voice, hinder your progress, and crush your spirit. Heaven, on the other hand, claims to be unable to function. One cannot suppress what I have consecrated. What I have blessed cannot be faulted. I am aware of your sorrow, my child. When a person is betrayed, chains are placed around their neck. It generates a deeper incision than any other blade. Despite your love, kindness, and faith in them, they continued to belittle you. When you looked at them with sympathy, they responded with deception. This is why it produces so severe agony. You could have overlooked an accusation made by an unknown person. However, this person was not a recent arrival. They were so close that they were aware of your name and story. They were so close that they could have entered your heart. Nonetheless, this is a significant consideration. They are not even in close proximity to God. They are not comparable to Archangel Michael. They are not as close as the angels that accompany you. They may have sought to change your existence, but they cannot impact your soul because it is placed in heaven. Although they are already shivering from their lies, heaven is currently lifting the veil from their faces. Is this not something you can relate to? What is that sudden sense that suggests something previously concealed is suddenly emerging? The drapery is being dragged back by heaven. I will not permit my child to fall into the traps of liars by walking blind, says God. You are getting information ahead of the storm's approach. No, this is not a scary warning. It is a message of readiness and victory, as the accuser's charges are unsupported by evidence. Lies are destroyed when the truth is revealed. But, child, it is critical that you stay visible. That is why you are present. This is why you are unable to continue. This is why the message is so vital. If you recede too quickly, you will easily fall into the shadows. However, following to the designated borders ensures your safety. You are armed with a firearm. The shield is currently on your person. Every additional second you spend in this position reduces the believability of the deception. Don't dismiss this moment, warns Archangel Michael. The significance of what is written in heaven far outweighs that of individual rights. Avoid moving. Maintain your position underneath the shield. The sword is completely equipped. The deceiver is fast approaching the end of his time. This is the most important location for your voice. Your conversation with heaven is much anticipated. Please include these two powerful phrases in your comments. I believe in you, not in God or the message, but in the person who is currently advocating for you. Pronounce it like a youngster in the dark, reaching for their father's hand. I am confident in you. Don't let the storm get you down. Be anchored by these statements. Compose it right away and feel a peace that defies explanation. Protect your spirit. I must restate that. It is impossible to drift independently. Stay in touch. Esteemed, I implore you to subscribe. Each message offered here is a divine rope that saves you from the suffocating sea. Refrain from cutting the cord. Do not obstruct the flow. It's probable that another fabrication will be revealed tomorrow. Next week, an additional snare will be installed. However, if one is safe and connected, they can have the assurance that an individual traveling with the angels will never become blind. Please pay close attention because I am about to make a more crucial comment. The accuser's intention was not only to harm your reputation. One of their objectives is to make money from it. They told you a lie in order to get attention and hurt you. They believed that if you remained silent, they would be able to thrive. They believed that if you were chained, they would be liberated. Nonetheless, they had no idea you weren't asserting yourself independently. You are secure in your agreement with God. Similarly, God's covenant is not fragile. It will be unaffected by envy. Lies cannot pull it apart. Betrayal is impossible. Whatever God has written for you will be untouched by any counterfeit signature placed on your destiny. I'd like you to think about something, my child. Lies must eventually come to an end. They may radiate briefly. They may appear to be a realistic option. They may be able to motivate huge gatherings. However, the truth exists indefinitely. The truth is on your side. Even if men first believe a lie, heaven will reveal the truth. Individuals may express displeasure of you, but God's voice is more strong. Even if documents are signed against you, your name has already been wiped from the book of life. The person who accused you is still learning the value of touching God's anointed. They thought they were savvy, but they had dug themselves a hole too deep. The snare they construct will eventually serve as their final resting place. Beloved, prepare your heart, because their identity is about to be revealed. Archangel Michael declares, I have it. The scales of justice will soon change. The truth shall be disclosed. And when it happens, my descendants will reach new heights, declares God. Stay vigilant and observant, and you will not be caught off guard. My lover, you are in a precious moment where risk and deliverance are in conflict. In the physical world, people may feel that existence progresses gradually. Nevertheless, in the spirit realm, anything can happen at any time. Everything may change with a one accusation. Lying can be bad to one's reputation. One false charge can have a serious influence on a person's life. However, justice cannot exist in paradise indefinitely. This is why your intuition led you to this spot. It's not only the words you read. You're now in the courtroom of paradise. A magistrate is present at this place. The advocate and archangel are present. Michael the warrior is shown wielding his sword. Do not pass up this opportunity. Please avoid skipping, as this will simply perpetuate the delusion. If you stay, there will be a higher level of authenticity. Consider the potential implications of staying silent. Consider the sorrow you would feel if you were left unprotected. The person who accused you is aware of the power of language. They understand the societal fragility that can result when people tell lies that appear to be the truth. They assumed that if they spoke loudly and presented their story in front of a large enough audience, suspicion would overwhelm them. They assumed that no one would advocate for you. Nonetheless, they erred in their estimations. They disregarded the fact that you were not strolling alone. The fact that your name is recorded in flames in the book of paradise was disregarded. They missed the truth that God personally replies to every false allegation leveled at his children. Do you understand the gravity of the situation, my dear? This is why your spirit is trembling while you read. Trembling does not indicate dread. It is an acknowledgement. It is your consciousness that validates the accuracy of the information you are getting. This is confirmation, a sign, and undeniable proof that heaven is deviating from your course to guarantee your safety. This message is not designed to scare or protect you. It's arrived. This is why Archangel Michael alerted us that we had only 2 minutes left. The opportunity for involvement is restricted, yet it stays available because heaven is aware of this. Now pay attentively. It is critical that you are informed of the source of the attack. Jealousy was a factor. Envy was the motivator. The tacit hostility of someone who couldn't bear to see your ascension was voiced. They hoped that your collapse would restore their injured honor. People felt that your chains would free them from their personal demons. However, animosity is never a desirable conclusion. Envy is destructive to oneself. Regardless of whether they excavated a pit, pits have a tendency to eat individuals who dig them. Knives can be honed, yet those who use them out of malice are still injured. You now understand why God tells his children, "Do not be afraid." Their strategy is their undoing. Nonetheless, God continues to urge you to remain vigilant. Please stop from scrolling away. Kindly avoid from skipping. The secret lies in your awareness. Maintain open lines of communication with the divine. It is impossible to become trapped in the same way after attaining information. Once the veil is torn, you can see clearly. This message is ripping the veil apart. Despite the pressure, you feel relieved since you are inherently aware. You are rescued before a calamity occurs. Before I continue, my dearest, I'd like to provide this reminder. Be a part of the flux indefinitely. It is advised that you get many warnings. You need more than one message. Given that the adversary is always alert, you must avoid growing overconfident. Please do not unsubscribe. Maintain your position. Every phrase that is delivered to you acts as a barrier against falling into holes. It is absent and the road is dark. It brightens the road. Consider the likely content of the following message if this one has already been received. Your destiny must never be left unattended. I am now required to tell you of the weight of the item that will be delivered. The identity of the accuser will be revealed in the near future. The murmurs are already developing. As you go through this awakening, remember that your assistance with this endeavor is not a hoax. It's a heavenly omen. Jesus claims that by giving water to others, you will receive it yourself. This isn't historical. It is an ongoing commitment to your future. Approach this situation with a strategy and faith. Giving can help you realize the potential that God has already built for your life. Individuals who pay attention to them are already asking questions. Inconsistencies are presently being detected. Liars respond with fear. Their evenings are difficult. This causes people to feel regretful. However, they are striving to hide the truth, which will not remain silent. The truth is mute. The conscience is heavy with remorse. It hinders them from finding peace. It won't stay hidden for long. The liar will soon have to face the embarrassment they tried to inflict in you. And you'll be correct when that day comes, my dear. You will be allowed to stand. Because individuals who have been refined by false accusations shine like gold that has been exposed to fire. Your light will be brighter than it has ever been. My sweetheart, you are infused with gold. Heaven is aware, even if you don't always appreciate it. That is why this was meant for you to hear. What was the purpose for this message being delivered to you rather than another person? You are now in the furnace, but are not on fire. Your personality is being refined. However, the fire that is designed to consume you will not make you glow brighter. The contrived offense designed to undermine you will eventually serve as a motivator for you to rise. They try to taint the name, but it radiates like a crown. Please do not dismiss the current circumstances, my beloved. Are you aware of how many times this deity sought to contact you in the past? You awoke when you felt an uncomfortable weight on your chest and had strange thoughts. It wasn't an accident. These were alarms. You ignored them. You suspected that it might be due to tension. You believed it could have been your own psyche. However, the alert has been turned into a trumpet. This message is carried by us as trumpeters. Archangel Michael is making a noise. God intends that you feel it in your emotions. Here's the music. Do not let a bogus accusation determine your fate. I will bring you home if you stay, remain, and receive. The deceiver believed that their remarks would form a link between you and them, similar to a chain. They assumed that if they mumbled for an extended period of time, others would be able to hear them. They thought the disguise would work best if they grinned at you while denigrating you behind your back. However, in paradise, people who speak lies are mocked. The reality is more enduring than their rhetoric. The truth cannot be hidden indefinitely, despite the fact that many people may be misled by their lies. Cracks have already started to show. The unraveling of whispers has already begun. The plot has already been revealed, and the unraveling becomes more severe the longer you stay in this environment. Do you understand the relevance of this? They do not have the luxury of time, but you should not allow their lie. This is why God says there are just 2 minutes left. Windows close, opportunities expire, and warnings fade in the spirit realm. That is why you must keep vigilant. Your ability to remain and attend acts as a shield. Archangel Michael declares that the truth will reverberate like thunder, and the false allegation against my child will crumble if they do not skip. I understand that your heart is in misery, my dear. You face betrayal, deceit, and the fear of being humiliated. However, God commands them not to transport it. Place it on me. I am your advocate. Fighting does not require physical contact. You do not have to shriek louder than the liar to prove your innocence. Heaven will support you as long as you exist in the light. God will demonstrate your innocence. The weapon will be wielded by Archangel Michael. The angels will explain the truth about the shadows, allowing you to walk freely. However, independence requires faithfulness. Please do not conclude this too soon. Please refrain from leaving before to the disclosure. If you remain, the deceiver's identity will be revealed. If you stay put, you will not be caught off guard. Holding on will cause the person who accused you to crumble beneath the weight of their own words. This letter is lengthy because heaven is building a fortress around you with every sentence. Each paragraph depicts the rise of a wall, the sharpness of a projectile, or the elevation of a shield. It is advised that you stay until the fortress is complete. Before we start, it is vital that you understand a key point. Currently, this phrase is required by someone in your life. A person who has been falsely accused, has had their name dragged, and believes that falsehoods are drowning them. Simply pressing a button is insufficient to spread this message. You are supporting another person in reaching a breakthrough. The kingdom's secret is that your own anointing grows as you facilitate breakthrough for others. You will overcome the deceptions that limit your advancement. I now ask that you capture this moment in this hallowed area, as paradise arrives faster than your next breath. Please include your last name in the remarks area below. Amen. Allow it to rise in the same manner as smoke in front of the throne. The sound should break the last chain of events. In addition, your affirmation indicates that you agree with the God's evaluation of your existence. Record it right away and rest assured that the angels are acknowledging your faith. As we prepare to seal this document, I'd want to provide you with a simple yet reliable key. The like icon beneath this video isn't just a computer feature. Heaven has received approval from the spirit realm. I agree with your judgment of my life because of how you communicate with God. I understand the scenario. I activate it. When you click the like button, the angels assigned to your case will be aware that you are awake, agreeable, and ready to receive. It creates a conduit for God's support to enter your life. Please hit the like button right away to demonstrate your faith. It is vital that you sign the agreement. Let it be the sound that says to heaven, I am ready for my vindication. It is very crucial to remember this. The conflict you are presently experiencing is not the last one. More details will be forthcoming. Angry people are unable to sleep. Jealousy is a difficult feeling to conquer. That is why you must conceal yourself. Refrain from becoming distracted after reading this message. Esteemed, I implore you to subscribe. Hold on, as it is a false offense in the modern period. Tomorrow may imply a betrayal of affection. It's probable that it will be a financial setback next month. You will not be hurt if you continue to be protected by these words. This is not currently the case. Your entire future is at jeopardy. We should go one step further. Heaven had difficulty pronouncing the accuser's name. Archangel Michael is currently in possession of it, and it will be uttered at the appropriate time. Be mindful of this, though. The moment their name is announced, you will experience an unanticipated jolt. You couldn't believe they could do such harm to you. That is why it will be painful. Even if it is painful, the truth has the capacity to bring relief. As a result, it will carry out the specified action. The freedom will last once it is understood, and the misery will pass. This day will be remembered as your redemption, not your collapse. My beloved, it is critical that you understand the significance of this time. Your situation is not novel. It has happened to all of the designated people throughout history. Potiphar's wife made a false charge against Joseph, which led to his imprisonment for a crime he didn't commit. Individuals in positions of authority falsely accused Daniel and placed him in the lion's lair out of jealousy. Jesus was wrongly accused by priests seeking to gain control of him, and despite his innocence, he was crucified. Do you understand what I am saying, my child? False allegations are often used to pursue the chosen. They continually manufacture claims about the anointed. Betrayal persistently pursues those who are in heaven's favor. Nonetheless, the manufactured accusation failed to eliminate any of them. It laid the groundwork for their subsequent success. Joseph was released from prison and traveled to Pharaoh's palace. Daniel's accusers were destroyed as a result of his refusal to communicate with the den. The resurrection of Jesus changed everything. This is why you shouldn't be concerned. The act of lying is dangerous. Certainly the charge filed against you is incredibly serious. Nevertheless, you are not the first person to be accused, nor will you be the first to be cleared. Heaven has already planned your conclusion, which is not enshrined in shackles. It represents liberation. It is not the source of guilt, It is a matter of integrity. This is not a loss. The testimony acts as substantiation. However, you must remain in this revelation. You cannot escape by scrolling. The voice dying to protect you cannot be silenced. The window is small, and if you don't see it, you can unwittingly fall into the already established trap. Archangel Michael addresses the audience with urgency. The deceiver assumed that their voice would never reach you, dear. They hoped to keep their strategy a secret until it was too late. However, I am holding a sword and pulling back the curtain. Do not pass up this opportunity. If you dismiss this advice, the person who accused you will be able to drag you down. These remarks are not lighthearted. They like shouts coming from the heavens. They support your life. Is there a stir in your spirit? As you read, you can feel God's affirmation in your soul through the restless fire. You already had the idea that someone was to blame. A weight could be felt near them, but it was impossible to pinpoint its location. You have already seen the indicators. Their grins were hollow because of how they appeared, spoke, and smiled. Heaven is communicating to you what your heart already understood. They're the only one. The complainant is that person. They betrayed you, and their name will soon be revealed. I need to address another issue, child. This attack was not accidental. It was calculated. They committed the deed while they believed you were vulnerable. They took some time to find you since they expected you to be engaged with other concerns. They chose this time period because they felt it would be the most effective. However, God claims that He predicted the moment when they would carry out the action. I plan to discard it. The moment they judged most favorable to inflict harm on you will now serve as the best occasion for me to show my strength. Maintain this reality in your head. Every dark lie is exposed by a dazzling light of vindication. The truth will not only clear your name, but also show theirs. Those who were formerly suspicious of your ability will now pay you tribute. Individuals who trash you in whispers will stop doing so. Individuals who sought to bury you will note your present height. That is how heaven's justice functions. That is the guarantee that will last endlessly for you. However, stay near, my beloved. This notice remains unanswered. Refrain from leaving until the stronghold is completed. Each word you hear forms a barrier that surrounds you. With each line you keep, your shield strengthens. It is analogous to removing a wall. It is vulnerable to the penetration of deception bullets. However, if you stay until the end, you will be unable to penetrate the castle. Please remain, my beloved. Only then will you witness the liar's downfall, asserts Archangel Michael. My lover, the adversary thought their whisper would go unheard. They were under the notion that the obscurity they created surrounding your name would keep it private. However, it is impossible to hide illumination. Do you understand God's workings? He cannot allow shadows to dominate endlessly. An untruth lasts just a short time. Lies have served their purpose during your lifetime. The bogus charge has made you tremble. Even as you read this, the liar is aware of the situation. However, they are not aware of the reason. Their evenings are difficult. Their moods are upset. The reality is breaking apart their disguise, which is why their confidence is shaken. Do not be bothered about what people said about you. If you want to avoid this revelation, consider the consequences. Archangel Michael makes an appeal after observing the documents. Both were signed. He's capable of seeing. He is aware of the trap they have set and is preparing to leave. However, he also sees God's fire circling over you, ready to devour the snare. Your story is especially interesting because you are compelled to stay in this area and let paradise accomplish its task. What others say about you does not define who you are. Your individuality is a reflection of the person God sees in you. People may call you a troublemaker, but you have been chosen by God. Although people may accuse you of wrongdoing, God declares you to be righteous. Regardless of what others say about you, God calls you treasured. Do not let their comments cause you damage. Allow God's instructions to purify you. That is the divide between subjugation and freedom. You were meant to be liberated. However, I must reveal a difficult reality. You will be surprised to learn the reality. The accuser is not a stranger because they are in close proximity. Their position is not too far from us. That person is a confidant, someone you have a deep bond with, and someone you have let into your life. That is why the betrayal feels so awful. This explains why it feels like an unexpected dagger. However, don't let the trauma overwhelm you. Let it go. When the truth is revealed, it will be clear that their smile, sympathy, and camaraderie were all for show. You will be returned to your original state after you have fully digested it. God instructs his offspring not to neglect this. You will be blindly lured into their trap if you leave before the revelation is finished. Therefore, resist from retreating. The truth is barely visible, states Archangel Michael. Please do not close your eyes at this time. This is why you must remain, my dear. Continue to follow heaven until the end, as the story is not yet over, and the ending is one of triumph. Don't forget about Joseph. When he was accused, he had the option of dropping the case. He may have succumbed and said, "What is the point? I am at the end of my life." Nevertheless, he kept his grasp. He refused to give up and ended up in the penitentiary, which brought him to the palace. Observe how the same thing that was supposed to pull him down eventually exalted him. That is the outcome that awaits you. The false accusation will not cause your death. It will improve your well-being. The falsehood will not make you more susceptible. Your testimony will be incontrovertible, and those who mocked you will see the enormous power of God in your life. However, avoid abandoning the assignment prematurely. This voice should not be stifled. Stay at your present location. Remain. Allow heaven to do its mission. Do not be alarmed by the shadow that attempted to conceal you. The shadow is audible, but it will not last forever. Are you unable to remember the information that has been written? Knowledge of the truth will set you free. The truth is the key to unlocking all jails. The key is now in your hands. God commands us not to submit to dread. Avoid letting stress to dominate your life. Maintain your composure and watch while I rescue you. Archangel Michael says, "Beloved, I am keeping a close eye on you. While you are here, no fabrication will be able to impede your advancement. If you opt to flee or skip, you are immediately exposed to danger. The person who blamed you was unaware of the scope of heaven's might. They expected their narrative to spread faster than the truth. They believed that God's generosity would last perpetually, notwithstanding the untruth of their allegation. But they were mistaken. Lies may spread quickly, but the truth persists. Lies may deceive many people, but the truth speaks to your spirit. When confronted with the truth, the mentality is unable to hold on to lies. This is why you feel so strong while reading this. Because your soul is hearing the truth, it is breaking the bonds that are attempting to encircle you. When you were a child, you could have pondered, why me? What is the rationale for my ongoing role as a victim? What is the cause of the predominance of falsehoods in my life? Why do I continue to be betrayed? Heaven responds to you because of your choices. Your anointing stems from your ability to illuminate the darkness of anxiety. Don't confuse an attack with capitulation. If you were left to your own devices, no one would want to fight you. The arrows point toward you because you were chosen. Because you were chosen, the missiles will penetrate. Please, Archangel, stay. Do not leave. Michael is raising his voice. Please wait until the end, as the deceiver's name is currently written in front of me and will be exposed soon. The time is almost approaching for you. Currently, there is far less veil. The disguise is being removed. The person who betrayed you is already quivering. They feel the discomfort of exposure, despite their refusal to admit it. Their name will shatter like a stone, but yours will rise like the sun when the time comes. Nonetheless, you must remain in this dress until that moment. This message isn't just a collection of words. It serves as a protective barrier. With each line you stay under, you create a barrier between yourself and the lie. Every time you listen, the shadows fade. Refrain from leaving until the stronghold is completed. My beloved, while the earth inscribes charges on paper, heaven inscribes the truth in stone. Stone has a longer lifespan than paper. It is simply a temporary signature. God's covenant will last an eternity. This pact secures your existence. The writing is guarded by Archangel Michael's sword and sealed with spirit fire. As a result, while their deceit appears to be strong, it pales in comparison to the eternal law that was decreed in heaven respecting you. The deceiver has gained confidence in their talents, but this confidence stems from their lie. Do not forget what happened to sand-built homes. They disintegrate when the storm hits. The severity of the tempest has already increased. They are unable to watch it at the moment, but they have a limited period of time. The guy who soiled his child's name, touched God's anointed, and attempted to tarnish innocence cannot be avoided. Heaven takes time to become outraged, but once it does, nothing can stop it. Archangel Michael reminds us that there are only 2 minutes left because justice is approaching. Exposure is imminent. However, to witness it, you must be awake. If you look away now, you will miss the location of your vindication, which will occur soon. Do not assume that your emotions were not observed. Every night you cried, every moment you felt the weight of their treachery, and every whisper you heard behind your back, heaven kept score. The sobs you weep behind closed doors demonstrate that God is correct. It's as if I've observed, heard, and will compensate. He doesn't neglect his children. It's not like he abandons his beloved, and you are that adored. The accuser's name is considerable, and it will fall with a tremendous crash. People will be taken aback. How could it possibly be them? Certain people may question. However, you will not be taken aback. You could already sense it. Your spirit was aware of the circumstance beforehand. You will be cleansed and lifted. Given that this is how God works, the enemy's aim to harm is converted into something good. However, my dear, you should avoid exposing your cranium. Do not listen to it once and then dismiss it. You require the flow of paradise to be continuous, not sporadic. Purchase it now. Establish your anchor in this area. Every phrase is a form of protection. Every message has safeguards. Every revelation includes a weapon. The adversary is constantly preparing a plan. Similarly, you must remain under God's protection at all times. I'd like to conclude this message with one final truth. The enemy does not take days off. He does not take breaks. Despite your fate, he perseveres with his scheme. As a result, it is hard to go a day without wearing clothes. Certain messages on this channel are not transferable. The prophets offered this veil. It is like to erecting a protective barrier around your existence. We will provide coverage for as long as you are a subscriber. Maintaining a link improves your security. If you stray, you give the attacker the opportunity to attack. If you have not already subscribed, click the subscribe button right away. If you have already done so, make sure notifications are enabled. Each new message should serve as an extra layer of protection against your destiny. To my lover, stay safe, maintain communication, and see how God turns every falsehood into a testimony. Finally, my dearest, I believe heaven is pressing someone to act quickly before you depart. Your heart is distinguished by its name. An image that captures your attention. Someone who requires this word at this time. It's feasible that they're both dealing with the same bogus claim. They may feel similarly limited as you did. By sharing this movie, you become their ambassador of salvation. You are the one who breaks their chains. Additionally, the following is a vow. Those who loosen others will see a decrease in their graces from God. The individual who liberates others walks with a greater sense of freedom. Therefore, at this moment, click on the share icon. Send it to them. Send a text message. Raise it. Please share this information. Observe how your own breakthrough accelerates as it pushes out. Your delivery has been sent. Please consider the well-being of another person at this time. May God bless you, my beloved. Your justification has arrived. You have been granted liberation. May you be at peace. Before we wrap up this captivating story, I recommend that we take a moment to reflect on this deep reality. This message was not discovered coincidentally. This is not just a coincidence. This is Archangel Michael's direct message to you. He extends his hand and invites you to a high-vibrational, protected community where divine abundance is more than a hope, but a promise. This spiritual idea is quite simple. Nonetheless, it has the capacity to transform your entire life. You will not just gain blessings if you follow it. They will multiply and permeate all aspects of your existence. Accepting this invitation grants you immediate early access to potent content and heavenly insights that are now unavailable to the broader public. You now have the opportunity to enter a sacred area where you will receive unshakable support, spiritual guidance, and speedy progress towards your destiny. Do not miss out on this historic opportunity. Your triumph is near. Your abundance is ready. You are on the verge of entering a fortunate future. Don't forget that this message doesn't end with your deeds. Jesus or Mark, "Give and heaven will open over you," is not a poem. Every seed you sow grows into oil for your future, fire for your calling, and safety for your family. My sweetheart, the moment has come for you. Have faith, and you will see God multiply the possessions you relinquish. I've been looking forward to communicating with you, my cherished child. Heaven has chronicled every action you've taken, and because you didn't ignore the most recent message, you're about to enjoy an experience that will blow your mind. The reason you were asked to open this is sacred. Archangel Michael has been commanded to personally give this divine affirmation to you today, when the winds of heaven resume their activity. I beseech you not to leave before we proceed. Do not ignore the events that are unfolding. Please subscribe immediately, not for my gain, but for your own spiritual well-being and to stay in sync with the upcoming messages. If you do not attend the next event, you risk missing out on the moment when your life is set to change forever. Please pay close attention, since this is the most important communication you've yet to receive. My child, my treasured, when you last listened, obeyed, and opened that message with trembling confidence, you opened a spiritual gate. Heaven has now approved something that others were never meant to witness, since you did not ignore it. The angels began creating something remarkable only for you the moment you chose not to ignore the whisper, and your name has been inscribed on a miracle. This is not negligible. This is not a symbol. This is genuine. Your destiny has been redirected in a way that will confuse people around you. Furthermore, they will ask, how did it happen so quickly? How did everything suddenly flip in their favor? However, I, Archangel Michael, believe that this was a heavenly outcome of spiritual obedience. You did not miss, and as a result, heaven will not ignore you. My child, my dear, I see the path you've taken, the silence with which you mourned at night, and the heaviness in your chest that awoke in the morning. I understand that you had questions about your worth, but you remained convinced that something more important was watching your actions. I'd like to confirm that there was something more substantial. It remains thus. You were not in vain for carrying that sorrow. The peaceful prayer you offered was not ignored. A time frame has recently been altered in your favor. Indeed, you are now entering an opportune season in which previously postponed occurrences will hurry towards you. What's the rationale? You opened the door when it was feasible to ignore it. Despite the doubts of others, you remained steadfast in your conviction. And now, my dearest, the compensation is no longer being prepared, but is being released. My beloved, my kid, listen deeply. You are not overlooked. You're not trailing. In actuality, you are precisely on time for occurrences that were ordained by the divine world years before. There was a discussion about you earlier today in the heavenly tribunals. Your name was pronounced as a declaration rather than a supplication. It's now time. This is the statement they made. It is vital to reveal what has been concealed. It is time to honor the individual who has remained loyal. My dear, that person is you. This moment, right now, was divinely arranged to connect with you in your solitude and motivate you to action. This is not just a message, it's a divine transaction. As you read on, walls are crumbling, layers are being lifted, and spiritual opposition is being overcome. The enemy tried every effort to keep you from witnessing this, my beloved child. Distractions, delays, confusion, and abrupt chaos were evident. However, this alone provided as proof of the message's effectiveness. When a light of this size is ready to be turned on, the darker forces emerge in despair. Archangel Michael announces, I have been instructed to protect your upcoming season. Your name is etched in gold. Your voice has the ability to impact others. And as a result of your prior actions, yes, that single act of obedience, you have set off an irreversible flood. What God has signed for you cannot be reversed, regardless of how people try to dispute or talk against it. Heaven is not ambivalent. It delivers after receiving approval. You are now in the process of receiving a wonderful delivery. The reality is, my beloved child, you were never left behind. The delays you experienced were never intended as punishment. Rather, they were precautions. You were shielded from an occurrence that could have prematurely shattered your spirit. The lid is being removed at the proper time. Some people will turn around abruptly to see you soaring, bewildered as to how you outperformed them. They will say, "Wasn't this the same person who struggled during the previous season? Had they not been forgotten?" However, heaven will react with a louder voice than theirs. They weren't overlooked. They were prepping. Additionally, they are currently obtaining their crowns. My beloved, your crown is not made of gold or silver. It is a symbol of divine favor. A light is growing above you, attracting objects you weren't aware of. This is the result of the combination of coordination and obedience. This is the moment you enter the sacred junction. Heaven is watching, my kid, my treasured, to decide your next steps. This message functions as a gateway. It will not be operational indefinitely. I must be open with you, not to put pressure on you, but to protect you. If you depart at this point, the schedule will require additional time to be realigned. If you procrastinate, the item intended for you may be transferred to another person who is willing to receive it. I am not present to cause dread in you. Rather, I am here to increase your consciousness. The divine realm has already begun its march. The benediction envelope has already been signed. However, the delivery cannot be completed without your trust. Trust is not just an issue of conviction. Irrational reasoning claims that, despite my inability to envision the complete path, I will proceed. If you act immediately, you won't miss out on the miracle. What is about to be placed in your hands is making the air quiver, my kid, my beloved. Only a few souls can hear the Spirit's vibration. You're one of them. Currently, the noise is becoming more intense. It's the sound of heavenly reversal. Supplies will be distributed in places where there was a scarcity. Divine alignment will take place in the same location where there was sorrow. If you betray someone, you will be held accountable. There will be a surge in the areas where there was a delay. Not because you coerced them, but because you kept an open mind. There is no silence from God. He is simply strategic. Today, he has assigned me, Archangel Michael, to whisper a strategy into your consciousness. Be prepared. Please continue listening. Maintain your proximity, because the upcoming occasion is too sacred to miss. And what is leaving your life is not a loss, it is a cleansing. I'd like to tell you a secret that no one else knows, my cherished child. Your case has been discussed at a private meeting in the spiritual realm. Certainly, your name was publicized, not as a result of your transgression, but because you survived. The suffering that attempted to silence you has now become evidence of your spiritual maturity. Every tear was offered as a sacrifice. Every silent fight was documented. In addition, you are slated for a divine release. However, it is veiled under the guise of a choice. Will you give in to the tug of your soul? Alternatively, will you let nervousness keep you from seizing this opportunity? Beloved, the holy does not necessarily appear in the form of thunderous sounds. It occasionally presents as a subtle disturbance, the kind that needs to be felt rather than heard. The message in question is that tap. Don't overlook it. Don't overlook it. Your future is extending an invitation to the present. I must inform you of an urgent situation, my kid and darling. A close relative is about to shift their status in your life. They will either elevate or remove you. Furthermore, heaven is responsible for this development. It is not yours. There is no need to be discouraged if someone unexpectedly withdraws. If a loved one chooses to take a different path, resist the need to cry. You are not penalized. Rather, you are being protected. You are being aligned, not abandoned. Certain relationships were never meant to last throughout your miraculous season. They would have tainted the substance that God is about to put in your hands. If they stray, let them go. Allow them to depart if they wish, because divine replacement is located on the opposite side of obedience. There will be a greater gain for each loss. Every farewell will bring a fresh hello, this time from God Himself. Something huge is already on its way to you, my beloved and offspring. It is no longer under preparation. It's presently in transit. The surprise phone call, divine encounter, letter, opportunity, and benefit that you were not expecting are already halfway there. And it is coming not because you pleaded for it, but because you aligned with it via trust. The vast majority of people are ignorant that heaven responds to trust, not distress. Your faith has also had a spiritual resonance. Your readiness is already being met by what you are unable to see. It is no accident that you are reading this today. This is more than just another message. It's a supernatural precaution. A location where your former chronology ends and your new one begins. Your existence will be unrecognizable after 30 days if you keep holding on, moving forward, and remaining open. My beloved, my child, the angels have already intervened on your behalf. I am their leader. My name is Archangel Michael, and I've been instructed to clear a route for you. The barriers are being erased. The adversaries are rendered inaudible. The betrayals are being revealed. God was aware of all of them, even those you were oblivious of. And now He has completely restored your happiness. However, this isn't just about you. Your obedience will bring blessings to those you have yet to meet. Your decision to have faith in this moment will break generational curses. Your future offspring can be seen laughing freely. I notice a peaceful vibe flowing from your home. I see people pulling toward you not because you are perfect, but because you have been chosen. You have the authority to speak successfully because you have undergone a great deal of sorrow. It's time to walk with authority. As the sun sets tonight, my child, I want you to remember something no one else has ever told you. God has not only forgiven you, but also favored you. There's a distinction. For the chosen few, forgiveness is only the beginning, contrary to popular opinion. Mercy isn't the only thing that awaiting you. It is a process of restoration. Furthermore, it is not symbolic or partial, but rather plentiful and overwhelming. This type of restoration, which causes even your detractors to sigh, must be the work of God. Heaven keeps track of how many times you chose not to retaliate. There is a record of the evenings when you kept a gentle disposition while others got chilly. The tenderness, tolerance, and refusal to emulate those who had harmed you were all important. The reward for this has now matured in the spirit. The delivery notice is included in this mail. Heaven will not overlook you because you did not bypass. My child, my dear, you have been trying to understand the reasons for the change in your life's pace, the sense of emptiness that has replaced the enthusiasm that once electrified you, and the fact that certain connections now feel like echoes rather than songs. I'll explain why. You're no longer the same person. You've grown, changed, and broadened. Furthermore, your spirit is currently rejecting anything that does not match your new frequency. There is no reason to bemoan the past. The old self must be let go in order to make room for the anointed version. Currently, someone is watching you, trying to figure out how you were able to survive all of the difficulties without being hurt. And what they don't realize is that heaven was present during each silent breakdown and calm repair. They are about to see your public award. The heavenly hand will make unstoppable moves, favor will climb, and doors will open. Furthermore, you are not needed to explain how they are going to be aware of this. It was God. Furthermore, it was always supposed to happen at this exact moment. This moment is critical for my child, my treasured, because it is so essential. Not only spiritually, but physically. Someone will be unable to resist the guidance that will benefit you for the following 72 hours. It may appear strange. It may happen during a late-night phone call. It could materialize as an unexpected opportunity that appears too good to be true. Refuse to reject this. Heaven requires your affirmative answer, not your explanation. You have desired miracles, but they rarely emerge as comfort zones. They often appear risky under the pretext of compliance. If it stirs your spirit yet frightens your mind, it is your cue. You can enter it via walking, because beneath that apprehension sits an unlocked vault containing everything bearing your name: blessings, ideas, funds, favor, relationships, platforms, and protection. Furthermore, it will proceed without delay. It will begin instantly once you respond. I was just given a vision that I feel compelled to share with you, my child. Your complete name was written in heaven's script on white paper with gold edges. It was a miraculous check. The quantity was substantial. Reversing your debt, blessing others, and funding your long-held goals were all within reach. Nonetheless, the check was secured in a vault due to obedience. God protects what is sacred not because he is testing you. The attacker made 3 efforts to intercept it. I tried to ascribe confusion to your path. I attempted to bring people into your life who would squander your goodwill before you ever received it. Nonetheless, the assignment was unsuccessful. Currently, the review is being sent. The only requirement is that you avoid from discussing it prematurely. In the realm of distraction, divine riches is frequently stolen. Therefore, exercise caution when speaking. Maintain secrecy. Allow your future to say what your mouth isn't supposed to. A shocking incident is about to occur for my child, my cherished. Nonetheless, there is no need to be concerned. It will occur as an unexpected change, similar to a door closing without warning. However, you have failed to notice that the window on the other side of the closed door is much larger than the thing you were clutching to. Do not pursue this person, plan, location, or whatever comes next. Abandon it with dignity. 3 fresh benefits are about to enter while 1 item departs. You are not being penalized. You're currently being positioned. God isn't eliminating you to do you harm. He is leaving to pay tribute to you. Your faith has outgrown the spaces you have occupied. Some people in your community were meant to be part of the wilderness, not the promised land. Attempting to attract them into the next season will only hamper the progress that heaven is attempting to make. Let it go. Confidence. The future looks hopeful. I assure you of this. Do you recall the night you almost gave up, my kid, my beloved, when your soul felt empty and you wondered whether you had misinterpreted the entire situation? Heaven also recalls that moment. Also, are you aware of the activities we took? Your name was engraved in the flames. In the divine inferno, it is impossible to erase. The change began at that point. Not when you felt strong, but when you kept your footing despite being feeble. The angels have been preparing this shipment since that night. This is why you were unable to avoid reading this message. This is why it chased you. It wasn't an accident. It was a design. As a result of not jumping ahead, you will not miss out on current happenings. Heaven isn't a slow place, my dear. It's accurate. You have discovered its precision. I must demonstrate something to you, my beloved kid. A scroll in heaven containing your name has lately been opened. It is perfectly inked. It has the divine sanction of an item for which you prayed years ago but have since forgotten to request. Heaven never forgets. You inquired while weeping. You inquired in the absence of sound. And as a result of your refusal to dismiss the supplication, God has remembered it. The spiritual winds are currently blowing in your way, which is why you are experiencing strange sensations such as abrupt emotions, unexpected signs, and changes in your surroundings. And once God starts working in your favor, even the most tremendous opposition cannot stop what is truly yours. It is useless to pursue. You are not needed to give evidence. The only prerequisite is to receive. This is why you were sent to this location. You are located beneath an open sky. Refrain from leaving. My child, my dear, there is a certain person who has been watching you from a distance, not in the physical realm, but in the spiritual. This person is linked to your history, yet they are on the verge of becoming a part of your future. They have tried to deny their desire to you, but it is no longer within their power. Heaven is currently orchestrating divine collisions, and your name illuminates their brains. You may not anticipate it. It's possible you're not even interested in it. However, it is approaching not to produce confusion, but to bring about a resolution. The apologies, closure, and talks you never had are being prepared for miraculous release. However, be cautious. Not everything that returns is meant to remain. Some returns are for confirmation, not for your convenience. When this person calls you, avoid bringing up prior traumas. Instead, communicate from your current position. Speak as if you know that angels have cleared their road. My child, my beloved, you will be astonished to hear your name repeated in an unexpected location. When you hear it, you will feel an unexpected burst of emotion. This will serve as your confirmation. Your name is being referenced by those who have the capacity to open doors no one else does. However, please follow my directions and refrain from attempting to guess the outcome. Focus your attention on the fact that it is happening. Currently, a divine transaction is taking place in regions inaccessible to the human eye. Documentation is currently being completed. Resources are being assigned. Individuals are being assigned to bless you, not only for survival but also for abundance. You will be invited to locations where you did not expect to be. You will receive communications beginning with, "We have been monitoring you." They will be oblivious of the basis for their attraction to you. However, I will. Heaven chose this time, place, and incarnation of you by appointment, not chance. I must reveal to you, my beloved child, a long-held secret. There has been a quiet, veiled sort of jealousy around you, as opposed to the loud, obvious kind. A person close to you has been speaking with you while smiling, but they have also disparaged you. They attempted to hinder you with their energy, words, and even small, silent intents. However, the light of heaven is unveiling what was once hidden in the shadows. Furthermore, you do not have to tackle it, as I have already done so. I, Archangel Michael, have constructed a divine fire barrier between you and any power attempting to impede your path. The betrayals will be revealed. But you will not be shattered. In actuality, the same people who tried to suppress you will watch you rise. And when they ask about the circumstances that led to your arrival, they will be unable to provide a rational explanation because logic was never the driving force behind your voyage. It was a gift from God. My dear, your household will succeed, but not only materially. This is affluence that facilitates recovery. Prosperity and peace. Freedom and prosperity. The type that pervades your genealogy and unravels the bonds formed by relatives who have since passed away. What you are currently experiencing is not a fortuitous break, rather it is the release of generations. You are the first member of your family to receive it this way. This is the cause of the extreme pressure. This explains the notion that the fight has been ongoing. You carried the load of a lineage that was attempting to heal through you. However, now that heaven has seen your fortitude, the bounty will fall like rain. You will break the cycle. The person who builds what others could only envision. Individuals who change the future without seeking permission from the past. You are not only being restored. Heaven, angels, and the divine design all remember you. This tonight, my beloved child, your surroundings will change. It may materialize as a dream, sensation, or sudden quiet. However, you must not ignore it. That moment will signal the beginning of an accelerated unfolding. After that evening, I assure you that your next 7 days will not be like the previous 7 years. Acceleration is expected. Divine interruptions. Unanticipated alignments. And it will all be the outcome of one decision, your choice to listen when others opted to ignore. Those who choose to whisper over the crowd have a unique blessing. You're one of them. You were identified through revelation rather than religion. Not through dread, but through favor. Furthermore, that favor no longer anticipates its announcement. It is on the verge of entering your home with an item that was reserved specifically for you. Something has just happened in the realm of heaven, my little child. Your name was spoken with divine passion during a closed-door discussion in the throne room, not casually or quietly. Release the final phase, God said. The person who waited. Someone who observed. The person who did not skip the task. Their compensation is overdue. Allow it to be distributed. At that point, I, Archangel Michael, was summoned to serve as a watchman over the message being sent to you. This is no longer a guarantee. This represents a spiritual awakening. The type that causes earth movements. The type that questions people's assumptions about you. The type that arrives without asking for permission. When it does, nothing will be the same. Even your past will change in its relevance. Objects that were formerly viewed as failures will now exude divine meaning. You are approaching a point where even your suffering will be beneficial. I must now, with affection, caution you, my child and beloved. When you obtain this blessing, guard it with all of your might. Not everyone in your proximity is ready to celebrate the fantastic things God is accomplishing for you. A few people will grin, but they are privately fuming. Others will try to undermine your confidence. However, this blessing is beyond argument. Pay close attention. Consensus is unnecessary. Permission is unnecessary. No human person can obstruct, dispute, or reverse what God has released. You are not present to persuade others of your worth. You are present to navigate it. You were not chosen in order to be comprehended. A decision was taken to promote you. Furthermore, your climb will provide adequate evidence of God's influence in your life. Even those who pretended not to notice you will be forced to do so. No, it is not for vengeance. Rather, heaven wants people to demonstrate allegiance. Tonight, my lover, your spirit will be fire while others slumber. Please be cautious. Someone from beyond, someone you adored who has passed on, is attempting to send you a sign. They feel at ease. However, their feelings for you have not faded. and they are working from above to protect the items that are about to be delivered to you. In your dream, you might hear a name.
An irrational sense may be experienced. You may awaken with a sense of clarity that you did not have. Do not question it.
Acquire it. Currently, the curtain is thin, and those who have departed the earth but still harbor affection for you are permitted to express their sentiments once more. Fantasy is not the case. This is an expression of divine mercy. You're not alone. You were never. The safety that surrounds you is more profound than you may imagine. What was originally designed to injure you must now pass through a wall of angels in order to approach you. As time is of the essence, I must immediately disclose an important subject to my beloved child. A trusted individual is withholding information that could have an impact on your future season. Their quiet has impeded your progress. Not because they are evil, but because they are afraid of your light. They are concerned that you would abandon them if you ascend. As a result, they've decided to keep a secret that could set you free. However, this delay is no longer acceptable in paradise. I reviewed the document. I witnessed the truth that they attempted to conceal. And it is now being revealed, not to be ashamed, but to correct the issue. A pulse of clarity will emerge in the coming days as a result of something you will see, hear, or discover. Avoid being surprised. Avoid harboring hatred. Be prepared, because that single discovery will set off the next series of miracles. Certainly, the obstructed cache will be released. Even the phone call you anticipated will arrive. Heaven noticed the file, despite its hiding. Furthermore, it will no longer be concealed. Tonight, at precisely midnight, a magnificent reset will take place, my child and cherished. Not via astrology or happenstance, but because God has chosen this date, time, and hour as sacred for your trip. It is unnecessary to perform a ritual. It is unnecessary to light a candle. You are merely required to keep an alert spirit. Express thanks by speaking into the atmosphere. Use a whisper to express your agreement. Also, let the heavens handle the rest. The activities that take place at midnight are not a performance, but rather a transformation. Timelines are being restructured. Contracts are currently being changed. Additionally, your name is being moved to the front of the queue. However, it is not owing to your title, but to your spirit. Your obedience has overcome your prior blunders. Currently, your reward is being drawn to you at an unparalleled rate. It will seem as a favor. It will emerge as an unexpected occurrence. However, the truth is that it is just. It is also due. Before the day is over, my precious child, there will be an attempt to divert your attention. It could manifest as an argument, a misunderstanding, an unexpected concern. However, it is vital to note that this is the final barrier before the reward is unlocked. Don't be fooled. Avoid giving it life. Do not exchange your crown for a topic that does not deserve your attendance. The adversary is aware of your presence, but you are too close. As a result, it will attempt to disturb your peace. Shake your self-confidence. Lead you to feel it isn't working properly. However, I am here to let you know that it is working properly. A wider extent than you realize. This cadence can only be broken if you stray from alignment. So, take a big intake. Continue to be stationary. Maintain your concentration. You are one final affirmation away from seeing your entire life change in your favor. The upcoming event is significant. It is considered sacred. This is a written work. Also, it is yours. I beg you, my child, to understand this ultimate truth with your whole heart. All that you have endured in silence, all that you have suffered, and all that you have lost and can never regain has not been in vain. The suffering you endured became a spiritual key, allowing you to access blessings you were previously unaware of. You believed God had forgotten. You thought your name had been omitted. However, you have discovered that heaven never forgets, and your name has not only been remembered, but also given the utmost priority. I, Archangel Michael, have been directed to notify you that the period of delay has ended. The era of stillness is coming to an end. It is now standing at your doorstep, the object of your prayers as you sobbed on your pillow. And if you let this door open in your consciousness, everything will change. I don't make this comment casually. I am unable to communicate without heavenly assistance. However, I declare with absolute divine authority that you will never be the same again. My darling, my kid, pay close attention since this is the final directive. A window will appear during the next 24 hours. A commonplace event that will be charged with enormous importance. It could be a phone call, a fortuitous meeting, a sudden thought, an unexpected email, or someone else's decision that benefits you. It's possible you'll approach it casually. However, if you have paid attention to this lesson, you will understand that when God is concerned, nothing is trivial. Maintain vigilant. Show empathy. Accept the pull in your psyche, even if it is unknown. This single decision will set off a spiritual domino effect, unlocking all of the closed doors that have been mocking you. I am not requesting an estimate. Rather, I am requesting a response. When that time occurs, let your emotions to say yes before your intellect can react with dread. Because that moment is more than just a decision. It serves as a prelude to your next heavenly duty. The individual who attempted to hinder your blessing, my beloved, my child, will now be exposed. Not for your entertainment. Not as a form of punishment. However, God is a God of justice, and He cannot allow the falsehoods made against you to continue. Fighting will be unnecessary. There is no need for an explanation. The truth will surface naturally, revealing your genuine identity, unlocking the gates, and purifying your name. You didn't have to fight dirty to win. You kept your cleanliness. This is why heaven chose to uplift you in public. Prepare yourself, since those who once avoided you will suddenly request your presence. Those who previously underestimated you will now be seated in halls where your name is referenced with dignity. The miracle they claimed would never happen will soon be experienced by those who mocked your conviction. My kid, my adored, the present time presents an opportunity to protect your peace in a way that has never been witnessed before. The fragility of the environment you are entering stems from its novelty, not its intrinsic fragility. It demands silence, safety, and space, similar to a newborn miracle. Please do not spread this blessing early. Refrain from giving access to anyone who has previously questioned your worth. Allow this season to blossom in private. Allow it to flourish in secret. And when it is strong enough to withstand the weight of attention, God will reveal it. Until then, remain hidden in obedience. Maintain your sagacity. And have trust that the potential He is developing within you will outweigh everything you thought was lost. You are being rebuilt with more strength, elevation, and anointing than you could have possibly dreamed. And all of this is happening right now, not in the far future, but just when you choose to open this letter and believe it was written specifically for you. This is your final warning, my precious child. Not out of fear, but out of love. If you don't internalize this message, you risk losing something sacred. Not because God is cruel, but because timing is holy. The window is still live. Right now, the entryway is unlocked. The scroll is now unlocked. However, nothing in paradise imposes itself on you. It is critical that you answer. It is vital that you agree. You must react with, "Yes, I have received it. I am convinced. Certainly, I'll protect it." This will result in an experience similar to heaven itself visiting your home. If you dismiss it, the time frame will move. However, this will take a long time. And God's love for you is too strong to be a lie. This is the moment. It's this notice. This is the ultimate decision. Not appropriate for all persons, but for you. You've been selected. This will be demonstrated in the following chapter. I'm now leaving you with this, my child, my treasure. Stand motionless and take it all in. Refrain from thinking. I'm aware. Please be aware that angels are being deployed on your behalf. Be mindful that what was formerly denied is now being granted. Be conscious that wealth, healing, protection, connection, and holy love are drawn to you by supernatural forces. Be conscious that your name is radiated in the heavenly temples, and the light that surrounds it is too strong to ignore. Move as if it were. Speak with confidence. Expect it. This is not just a message. This is a divine pact, signed in spirit. Your faith has been sealed. Archangel Michael made the delivery and imprinted with the fervor of paradise. I must immediately interact with your spirit, my child, my darling, before the gates of this precious window close. The communication you just received is more than just a message. It goes beyond simple language. It's a spiritual blueprint. A live, breathing map that ensures your life follows the timeline that God set for you before you were even known to the world. No, you did not discover this message. It found you. Heaven heard your soul's cries at a secret area. I was deployed because you believed, not because you pleaded. Despite the fact that your belief faltered and doubt loomed beyond your door, you stayed firm. That trust split the sky, regardless of how cracked, battered, or flickering it was. It was enough to stir spirits. It sufficed to gain access to vaults in paradise that were specifically assigned for your name. And as a result of that confidence, the miracle is now permanent. Do not ignore the events taking on in this location, my beloved kid. The world is always moving, but heaven has taken a moment to accommodate you. Angels have bowed low to hear your heartbeat. The scroll has been composed. The pigment has entirely dried. The decree is conclusive. It is impossible for whatever you own to be taken, forgotten, or transferred. It can only be postponed if you turn away. Please desist from doing so. Please don't let your outmoded perspective stop you from grasping this new opportunity. Resist the temptation to let fear masquerade as rationality. Please do not let the sounds of the past dominate the divine trumpet that is currently booming for you. You are not the person they said you were. You are who the gods have declared you to be. Furthermore, you are the reason why this miraculous portal was opened today. Not your neighbor. I am not an acquaintance of yours. You. If your hands tremble, your brain trembles, or you cry for reasons you can't explain, that's confirmation. This is genuine. Currently, this is the case. I speak with haste, my child, my beloved, for the spiritual timing is impeccable. There is no longer any room for ambiguity. The door that is currently open will not remain so indefinitely. You are not needed to answer promptly, but you must do so. Allow the trust that has brought you to this point to guide your next decision. Your obedience now is having an impact on paradise that will disperse like rain over the following 7 days. The first drop will come sooner than you think, in the shape of an unexpected encounter, a message, a heavenly connection, or a sudden inner realization that your body has found its serenity. Express your gratitude when it arrives. Do not inquire as to why it arrived. When it arrives, keep it motionless, because the first findings of a breakthrough are always delicate. This blessing will be yours as long as you remain aligned. Only if you continue to listen. Only if you maintain the frequency that heaven has allotted to you. As this letter finishes, my lover, there are 3 more things you should keep in mind. These are not just words. They are supernatural keys that unlock all of the promises that have been made. The first step is to remain silent until the manifestation occurs. Your adversary notices your passion. Your vitality is being devoured by people who are unsuitable for you. Allow your silence to protect the seed while it grows into a tree. Consequently, desist from attempting to communicate your blessing. Certain people will be unable to comprehend it, not because of their flaws, but because it was not intended for them to understand. It is a private covenant between you and God. Allow it to remain sacred. Third, ready to take action. Interruptions will be reframed as opportunities. Initially, miracles may appear to be problems. You should believe in the emotion that lurks underlying the dread. If your spirit soars, pursue it. Even if your head tells you that this is impossible, let your consciousness guide you this time. This is the method used to open the entrance. That is how the supernatural descends. I say it one last time, my child, my beloved, and I say it with the strength of every angel standing behind me. You weren't forgotten. You were not imperceptible. You were not denied. Your preparations were beginning. Refined. Guarded. Perfectly situated. Now it's your turn. The delay is almost over. The miracle is approaching. The spirits are descending. The blessing is unfolding. And your name, yes, your name, is being etched into a story that no one else could possibly inhabit. Advance now, not in horror, but with fervent longing. Speak only what is in accordance. Act only when it is divine. Maintain a deep connection with the messages. Maintain vigilance for the indications. Archangel Michael has gone before you, and what was before obstructed has now been sanctified. What was once hidden is now evident, and what was once considered remote has now been reached. Dear youngster, you persevered till the end. As a result, I feel compelled to reveal a secret that few people ever experience. There is a reward in heaven for both obedience and persistence. You endured through the entire lesson, not by chance, but by divine design. And now that you've reached the end of this divine revelation, a hidden seal has been broken in your favor. It is what I call the extra blessing. Paradise releases not only the stuff you requested, but also others you were not aware you needed. This is when miracles start to appear in the background, providing unexpected protection against disasters that never happen. Delays that are life-saving. Messages that are sent barely seconds before an emergency. This is the point at which God's favor protects you. You are suddenly enveloped in the type of anointing that causes foes to retreat without understanding why. You will notice a difference in atmosphere as soon as you enter a room. People may perceive you differently. They may perceive a part of you that they are unable to express. It is not about vanity. It's not charisma. It is the selected's emblem. Additionally, you, my beloved, have been chosen. My darling, cherished kid, I was given with a courtroom that was enlightened by light moments ago in spirit. You were on one side. The accuser was located on the opposite side. They were holding a file as they tried to prepare a complete list of the reasons why you should not be blessed. Previous mistakes. Awful decisions. You had some tumbles. However, the accused was knocked mute by the loud, powerful voice that came from the elevated position before he could speak. The voice of God declared over you that they have been redeemed. They belong to me. The issue has been resolved. I'd like you to understand the significance of this. You do not have to continue to punish yourself. Remorse can be released at this point. Shame may be eliminated. Because the highest court ruled in your favor, no lower court can overturn the ruling. You are not obliged to prove that you are worthy of this miracle. All that is required is that you receive it. I now entrust you with a precious responsibility, my beloved child. From now on, it is necessary to speak only in accordance with the previously released information. Currently, your words have force, a wider extent than you realize. The words you say about yourself, your family, your finances, and your future determine the reality you live in. For example, I am advantageous. For example, my course is unambiguous. I will accept anything God brings my way. Recite it every morning as if it were a sword drawn in the spirit, rather than just once. Resistance will seek to say one more time that this is not real, even in this moment. You made up all of this. It's conceivable that you're not the right candidate. However, I, Archangel Michael, am standing firm here, and I can guarantee you that this is true with all the force of the divine. Additionally, you are the person in question. You were always the individual. This explains the enemy's relentless attempts to divert your attention. However, heaven was victorious. You are now needed to conduct yourself in a way that demonstrates your awareness. My beloved, my kid, get ready for an unusual gesture of compassion. Someone you didn't expect, someone you barely know, or perhaps someone who has already harmed you, will appear in your life with a gift, a message, a bridge, or an opportunity. Do not analyze the vessel. Pay attention to the essence that drives it. God usually hides solutions on the lips of improbable people. Regardless of how uncomfortable it is, make sure you stick to your pledge. Maintain an open mind. Maintain a light touch. Maintain your composure. Your miracle may not live up to your expectations, yet it will bring a sense of peace. Have faith in the tranquility. Heaven's signature is calm. It indicates that the occasion has been authorized by God. And when you sense it, allow your essence to confirm its agreement without presenting evidence. You earn this upcoming season via perseverance, not perfection. And now you'll be passing through doors that no one in your family has ever entered. You are about to become the first. When a psyche like yours refuses to yield, something spectacular happens, my child and beloved. It draws souls like a magnet. Currently, 4 angels have been assigned to oversee your next 7 days. 1 for safeguarding, 1 for clarification, 1 for providing, and 1 for restoring. They will be there to watch, guide, and protect you. You may feel them in quick bursts, a chill down your spine, a breeze without a source, or a sense of lightness in the air. Do not be nervous.
That is how paradise reminds you that you are not alone. You will have divine aid from this point forward. There will be no more single contests. There is no longer any reason to wonder whether or not God is present. He is. He has been consistent. And He is now guaranteeing that you have the opportunity to experience it through signs, miracles, and whispers that arrive just when you need them. My darling, my child, catch this dying moment and let it profoundly permeate your essence. It was your time. Not meant for content, not for the purpose of investigation. However, this is for verification. You did not simply surf this message. You were dispatched. Divine intervention has led me to this location. You have also began a sacred process by remaining. It's been completed. The heavens have documented your faith. The message was delivered by Archangel Michael. And the future, your future, is no longer in suspense. It is moving toward you. Now just observe. The indications will materialize. The evidence will accumulate. The miraculous will happen. And the next time you look in the mirror, you will not just recognize a survivor. You will witness a living example of the effects of a soul's attentiveness and refusal to ignore the word sent from paradise. Michael's red alert. Don't ignore this disaster. Act before it's too late. This is an emergency. A major disaster is rapidly approaching you. Please open it right away, as failure to do so will result in tears. My child, my beloved, I am approaching you with urgency, not peace, but with divine caution, since heaven has recently issued a red alert for your name. A regrettable statement is currently being made, and if you do not act quickly, you may be left to mourn for the rest of your life over an outcome you were powerless to prevent. This message is intended for you, not everyone. You may assume you are reading this by chance, but I tell you that when the supernatural intervenes, nothing is a coincidence. As soon as you opened this message, a portal of divine protection opened around you. However, it will not be active for a long duration. I, Archangel Michael, have been allowed permission to interfere, provided that you stay with me throughout this message and do not disengage from the truth that is about to be revealed. My child, if you have ever felt spiritually assaulted, you are not alone. Furthermore, the ensuing surge is in the process of formation. However, what distinguishes this from prior incidents and what makes it dangerous is that the attacker is impersonating someone you trust. Indeed, someone close to you. The face is well known. Furthermore, they are not aware that they are being used. This is why I am appealing to you. If you ignore this moment and continue to navigate, you may lose your only chance to impact the future. A spiritual trap is preventing you from taking the next step. I have witnessed it. I've been attempting to contact you before it is activated by ascending through the heavens. A single blunder might cause pain to replace the blessing that was intended for you. Pay close attention, my dearest, since this miracle is subject to supernatural conditions. Before triggering the security surrounding your identity, you must choose to stay to the end of this message. For what reason? Because the impending tragedy is more than just a cautionary tale. It is a miracle disguised as a warning. I have been sent to you not only to avert the disaster, but also to direct you to the divine goal that was always yours but had been postponed. Your existence has been under the watchful eye of heaven for a long time. And there was a precise time when you almost gave up. Nevertheless, you failed to do so. A disruption in the sky resulted from just one decision. That simple act of standing resolute opened a spiritual file in your name that has been inaccessible for years. Please wait. Please pause immediately and subscribe to this message before we continue. This is because the knowledge I'm about to provide will continue to unfold through a variety of other signals, and I need your continuing connection to divine guidance. If you ignore this or miss the following call, the shift may pass you by without your notice. Subscribe today, my sweetheart, and you will never have to wait again for what is meant for you. Please approach. I am required to provide the information presented to me. A tragedy is developing. However, not in the way you think. It isn't only an external tempest. It is a spiritual trick or fraud. A person who formerly had feelings for you is now exposed to spiritual manipulation. Someone who previously protected your name is now repeating it in places where it is inappropriate. Despite the fact that their lips convey sympathy, their actions open the door to damage in your area. However, they are ignorant that they are participating in this behavior. This is why you're confused. This is why your spirit is heaviest. This is owing to the event's spiritual rather than bodily origin. However, my dearest, not all is lost. Not at all. In actuality, I am sending you this message because the option to change it remains open. For the next few hours, you have the potential to seal what is escaping, guard what is vulnerable, and reclaim what has nearly been stolen. A divine contract has been created in your name and can only be triggered with your permission. That is why I am present. This is why you are receiving this communication now, rather than later. It will be too late at a later period. If you leave at this moment, you may unwittingly contribute to the pain that we are attempting to alleviate. There is a sacred moment approaching in your day. Although it may appear commonplace, heaven has hidden a profound progress within itself. Only those who maintain spiritual awareness, vigilance, and sensitivity will be able to sense it. You will respond with either trust or terror. The disaster will either unfold or dissipate based on your actions. My darling, you are more resilient than you realize. However, strength without awareness might lead to a pitfall. This is why you are being cautioned. An individual is currently being steered toward your existence. They carry a material that can either strengthen or weaken you. Their energy is unstable. Their consciousness is struggling against the darkness. Furthermore, your insight will be the only source of illumination throughout the discussion. This is why you shouldn't overlook the upcoming encounter. It's not arbitrary. The heavenly realm will observe your response, what you say, what you permit, what you disregard. Even as you read this, you may have shivers. That provides as proof. This is a fact that your spirit acknowledges. It's possible that your dreams have already suggested this. They were more than just dreams. They were unexpected visions, unknown faces, or strange interruptions in your sleep. They were pieces of prophecy. Also, you are not insane. You've been selected. You are receiving spiritual intelligence prior to the physical event. This is a sign of heaven's mercy. However, this is reliant on your response. And now, my dearest, you have to make a decision. Will you stick with this message until the end, or will you let fear, distraction, or doubt deprive you of its protection? I seek your assistance not only as a messenger, but also as your spiritual defender. I lobbied for you before you knew your name was etched in the Book of Destiny. I'm currently engaged in another war. However, I need your confidence. Please give me your spiritual consent. And that begins with the act of remaining. And that freedom brings favor. This clarity is accompanied by a call. Recognition leads to acceleration. You were never meant to remain stagnant. You were always meant to ascend. Currently, the skies are clearing. Currently, the clouds are dispersing. The disaster has now been recognized for what it is, a forerunner to a supernatural turnaround. However, avoid relaxing at this time. There is still more information to convey. The following segment of this discourse will demonstrate how to enter the miraculous. You have been adequately warned. You've been roused. And at this point, you must agree. My child and beloved, your existence is about to go through a holy checkpoint. And once you cross this boundary, nothing can ever be the same again. Heaven is interpreting the enemy's intended tragedy as evidence. However, this sacred reversal is only felt by those who heed the warning. This is why the present instant, this precise pulse, is more than merely a message. It serves as a doorway. You've entered it by sticking with these words, and I'm now bound to help you go further. The information that follows is not appropriate for individuals who are easily alarmed. It is not appropriate for individuals who are unsure or only half aware. It is for you, the chosen one, to continue to believe despite the fact that everything in your surroundings works to undermine that conviction. I can now see that God is ascending in your story. Fear grips the foe. I was shown an image that was clear and undeniable. In the spiritual realm, a scroll was being unrolled. It bore your name in celestial ink that was bright, protected, and unbreakable. Nonetheless, an unwanted substance tried to taint it. A dark smear spread across the paper, like a specter attempting to conceal your mission. I called out to God, "What is this?" Someone close to me is creating the voice of betrayal in their heart, and the response was immediate. Someone you've trusted with more than words has quietly questioned your path, my beloved. Not in an explicit way. Not in a too stern tone. However, when doubt remains over an extended period of time, it leads to an agreement with the adversary. Furthermore, they are on the verge of saying something that will have far-reaching consequences that they cannot control. Fortunately, there is still time. The scroll has not been completed. Your name has the potential to be immaculate. If you continue to follow the divine message, and only if, I am aware that you are tired. I'm conscious that the burden of life has been especially heavy recently. Despite the storm, you kept your faith and smile, even when it appeared that no one was paying attention to your pain. However, you are visible to me. God observes you. This is a time of heavenly insight for you. Not the kind of exposure that destroys, but the kind that eventually reveals everything that had been hidden in the shadows. You have been requesting explanation. This is it. You have been yearning for justice. It is now unfolding. However, you must allow heaven to finish its duty. It is critical that you read this letter until the end, because there is a hidden identity, a key, and a time that will open the protection that you have been unconsciously seeking. I need to talk to you about your psychology right now. The enemy's plan to trigger that tragedy included not just your peace, but also your promise, your fate, your interpersonal ties, your voice. In contrast, God does not keep silent in the face of injustice. In the hour of your probable demise, the Most High has summoned spiritual soldiers, including myself, to surround you. And I'll tell you what I noticed. The attack was supposed to be gentle. It would seem as a whisper rather than as fire. A minor determination. A moment of misunderstanding. A dispatch that was delayed. However, that single delay would have culminated in the moment you've been waiting for your entire life. Yes, that precise moment.
the person you've dreamt about but have yet to reveal to anyone. That moment is still on the way. The delay continues to try to hinder it. However, if you make the right spiritual decision now, the delay will be in vain. Furthermore, the event will occur prematurely. It is critical that you understand that the adversary cannot undermine God's promises. Unfortunately, he can take your attention away from them for an extended amount of time, causing them to pass without being opened. This is the intended outcome of this tragedy. This was not about the ruin of your home. It was intended to force you to leave the door before the delivery. You will not be duped now that you are aware of the ploy. You will need to wait at the entrance. Your observations will be guided by discernment. When paradise knocks, you'll be ready to answer the door. Not late, not confused, but aware, prepared, and well-versed in knowledge. Now take close attention to what I say. Recently, somebody in your life has become more vocal. Their presence grew along with the start of this change. This is not a mere coincidence. You have allowed their influence to creep into your decisions, and they have an impact. This person may appear educated, helpful, or well-intentioned, yet they are being spiritually manipulated. Furthermore, if you fail to verify every word they say during this hour, you may accidentally cause a delay by following their instructions.
Heaven mandates that every voice be evaluated.
Evaluate each suggestion in terms of peace rather than duress. Peace is the result of what comes from God, regardless of the challenges it poses. Even if it makes you feel overextended, there is everlasting tranquility. However, if you are under pressure, this is not the right direction. My love, we are not finished yet. A sacred serenity persists. Should I continue to write the next holy paragraph of this revelation? My child, my darling, I am experiencing the trembling of heaven as I transmit the following peace to you. The adversary attempted to prevent you from hearing this message exactly because of the information about to be revealed. He did not plan for you to reach this position. He tried to divert your attention, discourage you, and distract you because the following reality has the potential to undermine his hold over the timeline. I certainly mentioned the timeline, because what you considered to be a mere delay in your life was actually a matter of timing, alignment with the divine. And the tragedy that was forming was not only about injury, but also about displacement, relocating you from the exact position and second where your miracle was supposed to happen. However, you have already thwarted that strategy by reading this and existing. The tragedy is filled with dread. The trap's potency is decreasing. Heaven can release the protection you didn't realize you needed this week the more you lean in. Even as you read this, you may have shivers. However, a recent incident has occurred, and this has produced a shift in the urgency of the spirit domain. You are closer to a spiritual eruption than you realize. And the most discouraging part? The bulk of people will only realize the cost once it is too late. But not you. You have been chosen to discover the truth behind the curtain before the storm arrives. Mercy is that. That's a favor. However, it comes with accountability. It is critical that you do not ignore the feelings that are currently at the center of your being. My beloved, there is a serious event taking on in your area, a spiritual energy movement that wants to hide itself in the comfort of the known, routine, and status quo. However, it is obvious to me. I see vapor forming before the fire. You recently asked God, "Why do I experience such anxiety?" This is the reason. Because you are motivated by anticipation rather than despair. Your sensitivity is due to the gift you possess.
You may hear whispers that others cannot hear because of the mantle that protects your existence. Currently, that gift is being triggered in preparation for a probable transfer that must be intercepted during the next days. The interception point is you. This is why this message was provided to you. You may have noticed that people in your vicinity behave differently. A remote individual. A person who is exceptionally silent. Or maybe the action was too lenient or abrupt. It is not the product of your imagination. That is the garb of disruption, aiming to go around your divine sense. However, paradise does not allow its inhabitants to be blind. No, not when Archangel Michael is assigned for an assignment. I was given a single goal: to awaken your consciousness before the darkness obscured your light. You will be safe if I do so. If you ignore this message or allow doubt or delay to absorb your attention, the protection may come too late. Then, my spirit would break. My child, I must clarify that this is not your typical message. This isn't your average spiritual discourse. This is a lifeline. You are being awakened as a result of a series of events that have already begun, while the mass of people remain sleeping in the spirit. God Himself whispered your name early this morning, requesting that it be sealed in protection. However, heaven was unable to release that seal without your permission. The receipt of this complete word marks the beginning of that arrangement. I'm aware that someone is now attempting to summon you. A distraction is about to arise. However, my dearest, I beseech you, what could be more important than your amazing survival? I have walked with warriors. In conflicts that raged across kingdoms, I stood at the doorway to paradise. However, I've never seen a file as meticulously disguised as yours. Up till the present day. Until your most recent request reached God's throne, your spiritual history had been kept hidden. You assumed you were alone. You thought your emotions were entirely undetectable. Nonetheless, something was unleashed the moment you cried. The divine file with your name was accessed. And what was held within? A cautionary story and an incentive. Both are now available to you. The future events are dependent on your decision. My dearest, you may be experiencing trembling in your psyche right now. It is not dread. That is an acknowledgement. Your spirit is recalling a truth it has always had in its heart. This was always meant to be your moment. Yes, it is feasible to avoid this calamity. It is yet feasible to reverse the loss that is pushing towards the backdrop. Nevertheless, you must proceed with modesty. Please remain with me. Kindly refrain from closing this. Do not ignore the message that heaven wants us to hear. This message was provided at precisely this hour for a specific reason. It represents a divine countdown, and you are currently in the final stages of decision-making. If you've ever felt ignored, disregarded, or forgotten, please listen closely. That season ends today. The enemy has attempted to weaken you through delays, disappointments, and those who claimed to love you but abandoned you when you needed them the most. The suffering was genuine. Heaven wept with you. However, the future that awaits you, should you continue in divine alignment, will be so precious and healing that your history will be retold through the lens of redemption. You are being prepared for restoration, not disaster. However, I stress that the answer is reliant on the present moment. The angelic retinue is waiting for your response. I'm refraining from using metaphors. Right now, you are surrounded by angels. There are those with restorative powers. A warning is present in some. I also have the sword in my possession. The sword of divine reversal, defense, and truth. However, my sword cannot be activated without your approval. This affirmation begins with the act of being present, alert, and responsive. Instructions will begin following the conclusion of this message. And if you fail to follow those guidelines, you may unwittingly enter the same thing God is attempting to keep you from. I must also advise you about another issue. Heaven is not only warning you, but also putting its trust in you. Not only are you being asked to transport a thing for yourself, but also for another person. Indeed, someone close to you is ignorant of what is about to happen. However, you are now awake. You are the middleman. The selected. Heaven is relying on one person to break the chain. This is the reason you've been attacked. This is why everything has been seeming heavy lately. Your adversary anticipated your moment of waking. However, he was not expecting this message. What I have started will be finished by your next act of faith. So, take a big intake. I've received this message, God. Speak it aloud. I received the warning. I recognize the marvel you've concealed within it. My beloved, those words are quite powerful. Instead of just thinking about them, express them verbally. As a result, upcoming occurrences require both activation and reveal. This is not a conversation about weathering the storm. This relates to preventing the tempest from forming. That authority has been given to you. You have been entrusted with that spiritual duty. Currently, an event of sacred significance is occurring. Heaven is presently reviewing the file containing your name as you read these words. Additionally, a new document is now being written. A page titled "The Day They Chose to Believe." Once completed, the history that was on the verge of catastrophe will be reversed. There will be a change of direction. The conversation that is being organized against you will end. An opportunity that was about to be lost will re-emerge. Furthermore, the person who nearly misjudged you will experience an enlightenment that they are unable to describe. That's the marvel. That's the mercy. My child, my dear, the Spirit of God is not only observing you, He is also talking with you. Each word you are reading is part of a divine rescue that was written before this day. It may be unknown to you at this time, yet the instant you are taking this breath is linked to something sacred, old, and timeless. The enemy has been striving to separate you from the promise that hangs over your life. This explains how the conflict escalated. This is why you have felt an unexplained sense of heaviness. Your imagination was not the cause, it was interference. A demonic frequency is attempting to muddle your discernment, distort your vision, and prevent you from recognizing the proximity of a miracle that has the ability to revolutionize your life. However, heaven had other intentions. The final decision is always made by the deity. I require you to comprehend this message. You are not losing, rather you are shifting. The trembling you are experiencing is not the consequence of your existence unraveling, rather, it is the result of each deception collapsing under the weight of divine truth. And the truth is that you were chosen for this specific situation. This delicate strategy that nearly went undiscovered, this tragedy that was intended to unfold around you, was predicted by God long before it arrived at your home. Furthermore, it is now being disturbed. Heaven has issued a cease and desist order for all malicious operations planned in your name. However, your response is critical. This is not an event to be taken lightly. It is critical that you keep a spiritually alert state. The antagonist is concerned about your future, but not about your past. I can now clearly perceive the image. A divine door, golden in color, is sealed with symbols that only those in paradise understand. Everything the adversary attempted to postpone is hidden beyond that door, including a financial change, a familial healing, a heavenly connection, and an opportunity that had been gathering dust because someone with power forgot your name. However, the door trembled just at this instant. Are you experiencing it? That strange sensation in your thorax. That is the Holy Spirit's affirmation that this message is authentic. The door swaying was not natural, it was supernatural. As a result of your obedience, the hidden realm is being revealed. However, the adversary does not give up without making one more effort. Furthermore, his final effort is often the most deceiving. He will convey a voice that appears to be affectionate but is actually venomous. He will present an offer that appears flawless but ultimately destroys peace. He will send a delay disguised as a blessing. Furthermore, if you are not spiritually awake, you may enter the object that was designed to hurt you. This is the reason I have not stopped speaking. This is why you're continuing to read. Because heaven would not allow you to start this next chapter without vision. You're currently being prepared. Preparation is a sort of protection. No, my dear, don't be surprised if an odd event occurs in the coming hours. A message received from an unexpected source. A sudden emotion that is not appropriate for the current situation. A fantasy that is more real than the ordinary. These are not simply coincidences, they are signs. The Holy Spirit is currently indicating your favor. Nonetheless, you must remain sensitive. Don't ignore the uncommon. Avoid disregarding the suggestion. Your forthcoming instruction will be communicated through a murmur rather than thunder. The miracle will be missed by those who ignore the whisper. In addition, I must share one more item. A name is given spiritual emphasis. Someone with a connection to your past. Individuals that once had your trust but betrayed you when you needed them the most. They are currently being used once more. I do not aim to utterly destroy you. Instead, I intend to delay you for an extended period of time, allowing you to ignore the impending disaster. But today, in the name of the Most High, I declare that their power over your life has ended. You may suffer a rapid start of tears or chills. It is not dread. Freedom is that. Because your essence is being unleashed. You're no longer in their shadow. You're no longer bound by their decision. You are at liberty. And that freedom brings favor. This clarity is accompanied by a call. Recognition leads to acceleration. You were never meant to remain stagnant. You were always meant to ascend. Currently, the skies are clearing. Currently, the clouds are dispersing. The disaster has now been recognized for what it is, a forerunner to a supernatural turnaround. However, avoid relaxing at this time. There is still more information to convey. The following segment of this discourse will demonstrate how to enter the miraculous. You have been adequately warned. You've been roused. And at this point, you must agree. My child and beloved, your existence is about to go through a holy checkpoint. And once you cross this boundary, nothing can ever be the same again. Heaven is interpreting the enemy's intended tragedy as evidence. However, this sacred reversal is only felt by those who heed the warning. This is why the present instant, this precise pulse, is more than merely a message. It serves as a doorway. You've entered it by sticking with these words, and I'm now bound to help you go further. The information that follows is not appropriate for individuals who are easily alarmed. It is not appropriate for individuals who are unsure or only half aware. It is for you, the chosen one, to continue to believe despite the fact that everything in your surroundings works to undermine that conviction. I can now see that God is ascending in your story. Fear grips the foe. I am forced to reveal an extra reality to you, my children. Your narrative has been monitored, not only by the heavens, but also by those who envy your radiance. Some people smiled at you, but they were hostile toward your bravery. They saw you go through battles they thought would destroy you, but when you refused to crumble, they got progressively bitter. Some people even asked how they remained standing. They are unaware that you are being assisted by angels. That your essence was safe, even when you felt exposed. However, they are now attempting to destabilize what they were unable to eliminate. They also want to speak again, this time at a higher volume. This is the moment when their remarks will either gain traction or be uprooted before landing. Heaven is seeking to build a divine firewall around you. However, it must be installed before dusk. I appreciate that this may appear unusual, but it is correct. A statement will be issued within the next several hours. Something will be communicated. It could take the form of a message, a phone call, or even an unusually long quiet. The snare's final component is that moment. However, you are now aware of this reality. The capacity to avoid the impediment that was designed to bring you down is now within your reach. Your obedience in this instant activates protection that will last beyond this hour. It includes your name, family, finances, and future. The entire thing. My child, my treasured, I regret to warn you that someone is approaching you with a message that is not from God. They may appear to be familiar. They may appear to be affectionate. However, they are hesitant to reveal the mystery of their irises. Their words may bring smiles, yet their souls contain something altogether different. The following is critical to understand. They are not the adversary. Rather, they are employed by someone. This is why your brain has been feeling insecure recently. This is why you have been second-guessing people who have never given you a legitimate reason to do so. Because your spirit can perceive things that your senses cannot. And heaven is now confirming this through me. This week, you are reminded not to listen to every voice that enters your life. Because one of those voices will try to steer you away from the path that God intended for you to go. This is why the opposition is in a haste. Because something fantastic and life-changing is on its way to you. Your name appears in the manifest of people summoned to enter a divine window. When the enemy realized the benediction had been granted, he promptly dispatched a disruption. A slow-moving calamity disguised as wonderful advice, fake affection, or helpful concern, rather than a predictable storm. However, as Archangel Michael, I can see through the deceit completely. I am in a position to keep you safe, if you let me to. However, I need your continued availability. Stay in this place. The following few words are not mine. They come from the highest echelon of heaven. The divine is communicating. Furthermore, his present comments are held holy. The tragedy that is threatening to consume you isn't just about you. It is related to your lineage. Your decisions now will be reflected down through generations. The enemy understands that if he can disturb you, he can delay them. Right now, this is why he is battling so hard. However, the fact that you are still reading, standing, and holding on implies that he did not succeed. And he will never do so until you give him permission by ignoring the information that is being presented to you right now. I say this with great affection. Do not be casual about this event. I'm aware that life is full with diversions. I understand that your spirit has been weary. However, now is not the time to retire for the night. This is not the time to ignore your intuition. Pay attention now, For the information you're hearing has the ability to break the spell, close the trap, and unleash the miracle all in one emotion. I would like to be completely straightforward, my dear. The person working against you is oblivious. Not only are they not malicious, but they are also injured. The enemy can communicate through their wounds. They have subtly formed feelings of envy for you. They admire your shine, yet they are resentful of your advancement. They crave for the person you were in the past because the transformed version of you makes them feel inferior. This is why their hearts were touched. Heaven revealed to me just when it happened. It was recent. Very recent. They continue to grin in your company, but their demeanor has transformed. You found it to be meaningful. That sudden soreness, the sense that they are hiding something. You weren't mistaken. It was absorbed by your essence. I'm presently verifying this. However, there is no reason for alarm. There is no need for alarm. Do not bear any anger toward them. Instead, climb. Ascend into consciousness. Ascend into positions of authority. Proclaim over your name that no weapon, no matter how secret, will be successful. Because the heavens listen when you speak. My darling, you are not alone. You were never completely isolated. Spirits are currently assembling in your favor. Your name is enveloped by angelic forces when this message is being sent. They are hidden in places that the naked eye cannot see, such as boardrooms, group chats, family residences, and even near doors that were about to be opened to the wrong people. The angels are protecting your future. However, they are waiting for one final signal from you, Faith. What I have started will be finished by your next act of faith. So take a big intake. I've received this message, God. Speak it aloud. I receive the warning. I recognize the marvel you've concealed within it. My beloved, those words are quite powerful. Instead of just thinking about them, express them verbally. As a result, upcoming occurrences require both activation and reveal. This is not a conversation about weathering the storm. This relates to preventing the tempest from forming. That authority has been given to you. You have been entrusted with that spiritual duty. Currently, an event of sacred significance is occurring. Heaven is presently reviewing the file containing your name as you read these words. Additionally, a new document is now being written. A page titled, "The Day They Chose to Believe." The chronology that was on the verge of disaster will be reversed once that page is completed. There will be a change of direction. The conversation that is being organized against you will end. An opportunity that was about to be lost will reemerge. Furthermore, the person who nearly misjudged you will experience